1 game, 9 assists. A 6'6" battering ram flying downhill like someone finally cut the brakes. Terrence Shannon Jr. didn't just score in Summer League, he orchestrated, attacked, and dared defenders to blink first. And the moment they respected the drive, he calmly rose and splashed a 3. That's not luck. That's a scouting report rewriting itself in real time. Here's the kicker. Everyone keeps talking about his wingspan like it's a curse. Bottom half at the combine, low release, can't shoot off the dribble. Cool. Then explain how he ripped through a defense that knew he wanted the rim, still got there, and hit threes from every spot on the arc. The tape doesn't lie. His burst forces panic, and panic opens passing lanes. If he's even league average from deep, the panic turns into full-on scramble. But that wasn't the whole story, because Shannon's path to real minutes is blocked by something far more stubborn than a defender in July. Terrence Shannon Jr. entered the league with a label: athletic slasher, questionable jumper, maybe a bench spark. He was the 27th pick, which is a weird no man's land. Not a lottery darling, not a second-round chip stash, just enough hype to get expectations, but not enough to get guaranteed opportunity. His rookie season reflected that limbo. Tiny sample size, inconsistent minutes, and the three-point line that looked more like a rumor than a rhythm. Look closer. He attempted only 31 threes last year. That's nothing. That's a weekend for a role player on a green light. Judging his NBA jumper off that is like judging a book by its UPC code. Meanwhile, the same coaching staff handed Reed Shepherd the same sporadic runway, and he shot basically the same percentage. When you never know if you're playing 6 minutes or 16, it's hard to find touch. But Shannon's frame? 6'6", 215 pounds. That's not a tween guard trying to survive switches. That's a built wing with enough mass to absorb contact and still elevate. The body is NBA ready. The question was always league pace, decision-making, and whether the jumper could follow the drive. Last night gave a hint. His college career gave a blueprint, and Summer League just screamed, "You waited too long." Still, the shot alone isn't what shifts him from fringe piece to rotation lock. It's something else, something we weren't supposed to see from a so-called downhill-only wing. In Champagne, and one above the break spot to hover at 34%. That combination forces defenses to close hard.
And the release? It's low, sure, but he compensates with speed. Quick, no-dip, catch-and-fire mechanics turn a weakness into a timing battle he usually wins. Watch the tape. He rarely hesitates. Offline pass, quick cross, rise up. Hand in his face? Fine, he trusts the work. That's the habit of a guy who knows he doesn't get 20 chances a night, so each one gets treated like it might be his last. The deeper cut. NBA defenders gave him the "we dare you" gap last season. Summer League defenders didn't get that memo. They tried to crowd his handle, and he drilled pull-ups above the break, a shot he barely attempted as a rookie. The comfort isn't elite yet, but the willingness is the tell. Confidence isn't fakeable. You either let it fly or you pass up daylight. He let it fly. But the jumper is just one side of the coin. Flip it over, and you see why closeouts might be the dumbest idea in the world against him. Shannon's first step feels like a misprint. One jab, one shoulder lean, and he's 3 strides deeper than you expected. At full speed, he's a problem. Broad chest, long strides, elastic hips. Smaller guards can't bump him off his line. Bigger wings can't flip their hips fast enough to contain him. The rim becomes a magnet the second he tastes daylight. Defenders know it. That's why they sag. That's why they give him cushion and pray the jumper bricks. But if that cushion disappears, if his 3-ball hits just enough to prompt real closeouts, his straight-line drives turn into highlight reels and foul line visits. He doesn't just absorb contact, he enforces it. Few young wings embrace contact as an advantage rather than an obstacle. Shannon does, and that shrinks rotations like a black hole. And here's where the scouting report collapses. Everyone labeled him scorer first, passer maybe. Yet the tape from Summer League shows a player reading help, firing corner swings, dropping pocket passes the instant shot blockers commit. That wasn't supposed to be in the toolkit. It is. What happens when a supposed tunnel vision slasher starts seeing the whole floor? Simple. Defenses run out of schemes. 9 assists in a Summer League game isn't everything, but it's not nothing either. It's a test, and he passed with highlighters. The beauty wasn't flashy dimes, it was speed of decision. Catch, scan, swing. Attack, draw 2, drop it off. Kick, respace, relocate. Over and over. He made the simple play instantly, which is a cheat code in modern offenses built on half-second choices. 2 moments stand out. First, the grab-and-go sequence. He boards, explodes, draws a crowd at the dotted line, and instead of trying to posterize a rim protector, which he easily could, he slides a bounce pass to a shooter. That's restraint and awareness. Second, the double swing play. Drive, kick, re-kick, corner three. Missed rebound, back to Shannon. He could have hunted the rim to prove a point. Instead, he gave the same shooter the same look. Trust. That's a young guy acting like a vet. If he's truly a willing connector, he's more than a scorer. He becomes glue, a secret ingredient every contender needs, but never wants to overpay for. And if you're a team like Minnesota, the math matters. But the Wolves aren't just any team, they're loaded. So where do his minutes come from? And what does the second apron have to do with any of this? Let's be real, Minnesota's guard wing room is crowded. Anthony Edwards is the alpha, Rob Dillingham is the shiny new toy. There are vets who know the system, young guys who survived last year's grind, and a coaching staff that prioritizes defense and trust. Shannon has to earn both. Yet 82 games are brutal. Stars sit, role players tweak ankles, second apron rules make mid-season band-aids expensive. When you can't buy depth, you have to develop it. That's where Shannon slides through a crack. He doesn't need plays called for him. He doesn't need high usage to impact a game. Give him 14 minutes and he'll attack the paint, stretch the floor just enough, and find a teammate if his path closes. The cap rules accidentally gift guys like him a lane. When ownership can't justify another $7 million role player, a second-year contract on rookie scale looks like a miracle. Suddenly, internal growth isn't just a luxury, it's the only option. So yes, he's battling for daylight, but the battleground is shifting. And the risks the front office sees, they're real, but beatable. No prospect blooms without thorns. Shannon's are obvious. The 6'8 wingspan limits his contests. The low release invites blocks if he hesitates. His senior year assist to turnover ratio at Illinois was flat, not inspiring. And his defensive ceiling? Still a question. Can he survive on switches against bigger forwards, or is he stuck guarding twos and smaller threes? The turnovers matter. The decision-making has to stay crisp when defenses scout him and shrink driving lanes. The jumper must stay north of 34% to keep the drive alive. And the fouls, he can't hunt contact so aggressively that he becomes a whistle magnet going the other way. But here's the thing. Every one of those risks is teachable, reps-based, or fixable with role clarity. You can't coach burst. You can't coach fearlessness. You can't coach an NBA-ready frame and an instinct for quick reads. He already has the hard stomachs and sore knees, and suddenly the maybe rotation guy tag melts into can't bench him reality. 1 week of momentum can rewrite a season for a young player. Ask Austin Reeves. Ask Gary Payton II. Ask any guard who turned a two-way into a payday. If he finishes the season at 36 to 38% from deep on real volume, combine that with his rim pressure and passing flashes, and he becomes a plug-and-play energy wing for a playoff team. He turns into exactly the piece contenders hunt at the deadline. Except Minnesota won't need to hunt. They already have him, cheap, on a rookie deal. So, what's next? Simple. Watch the camp battles. Track the early season minutes. Catch the night when an injury shuffles the rotation and Shannon gets 20 straight minutes and refuses to give them back. That's the opening. That's the moment. And if he seizes it, you look back at this quiet Summer League highlight reel and realize it wasn't noise. It was a warning. He's not asking for a crown. He's asking for a crack in the door. Once it opens, good luck slamming it shut.